This Saturday at noon Eastern Time, the Big 12 championship game kicks off between the BYU Cougars, who stand at 11-1, 8-1 in Big 12 conference play, and the also 11-1 and 8-1 in Big 12 play, Texas Tech Red Raiders. These teams have faced before, and it ended in a 29-7 blowout Texas Tech win. The spread indicates that the books are leaning towards something similar, with Texas Tech being favored by 13.5 points. Line opened up at, I believe, 11.5, 12.5, so sharps are on Texas Tech here. Game will be broadcast on ABC. Let's take a look at BYU's schedule here quickly and tell us who they are. Who BYU is a team that is scrappy. They are physical. They know how to stop the run, how to run the ball. They have a very underrated quarterback in Bear Bachmeier. And LJ Martin has been a great running back. Their trench play is fantastic. And Jay Hill is one of the nation's best defensive minds and coordinators. And Aaron Roderick, their offensive coordinator, has been there for quite some time. And they find ways to win. They're physical. Their talent is underrated. They're a top 15 power rated team, top 20 at the very worst. And from a strength of record and strength of schedule standpoint, I think this team should already be solidly in the playoffs. They deserve to get it, in my mind, over Notre Dame and Miami, because they have played a tougher strength of schedule, and the metrics bear that out. The Utah win against a very good Utah team being a big piece of that equation. For Texas Tech, dominance, dominance, dominance. You saw it early on against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State. They just were not messing around, and they were super talented. And then against Utah, where they just put them in a hole and beat their face in, they showed that they're a real top 10 team. And as the season has progressed, it's become more evident, even within that loss to Arizona State, it's become more evident that they're actually top 5, more likely than not, or very close to that. Blowing out Houston, Kansas, losing close to Arizona State. They're 0-1 in close games. But then they shut out Oklahoma State, destroyed Kansas State, destroyed BYU, destroyed UCF, and shut out West Virginia on the road. This is one of the best teams in college football. I would not want to face this team in the playoffs. But BYU, with Kalani Sitake as their head coach, and with that staff and those players and the competitors they are, I know they want the rematch. And I know that Texas Tech also wants this rematch, because they want to show that, hey, we can beat a good team twice, and we can dominate a good team twice. Looking back at this game, took place on November 8th. Texas Tech had 368 total yards to BYU's 255. Both teams didn't really run the ball well, but when you take out sacks, Texas Tech had over 4 yards per carry, 149 total yards, despite BYU having 4 sacks. BYU averaged under 3 yards per carry just in general, which with LJ Martin and that offensive line is a pretty big deal. And Texas Tech forced 3 turnovers. They had 3 more first downs. They were 7 of 18 on third down, while BYU was 3 of 14. Both teams didn't have a really good day on fourth down. They were a combined 1 of 4 there. TOP was about equal, but Texas Tech with their defense was able to create plenty of short drives. They had the better offense. They had the way better defense, and that's a credit to Sheil Wood, Texas Tech's defensive coordinator, when you have players like Jacob Rodriguez, David Bailey, Romello Height, Lee Hunter. It's incredible what Tech has done on defense. We usually think of Texas Tech as college football fans as all offense and no defense, but that's not the Texas Tech of now. That was the Texas Tech of then. This is a defense that is among the nation's best, and according to ESPN's efficiency metrics and some adjusted EPA per play allowed metrics, they're actually the number 1 defense in all of college football. Some key players to pay attention to here. Same as the last matchup. Bear Bachmeier at quarterback, LJ Martin at running back, and Bruce Mitchell the center for BYU. And then John Ta'amoapua at defensive tackle, and Tanner Wall at safety, and Faletua Satuala at safety as well. That safety duo is something to pay attention to. What do they do to Brycen Moore? Do they read his eyes? Are they able to prevent big plays? Are they able to tackle Cameron Dickey? This channel will make you a college football expert and help you enjoy watching games and make more accurate predictions. So what are you waiting for? Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment your thoughts, and watch the video all the way through so that you can get the full package. And check the description and pinned comment for more ways to help yourself and this channel. Well, and that running back room and Jacoby Williams, what do they do? And then for LJ Martin, does he have the elusiveness and the vision and the skill set to create a breakaway run or to break some tackles here? Because Texas Tech pretty solidly should have the trench advantage here with Romello Height, David Bailey, Jacob Rodriguez, Lee Hunter. Offensively for the Red Raiders, Howard Sampson and Jacob Ponton, their tackles, have been pretty good this year. How do they hold up in pass pro when BYU was able to get 4 sacks on Brycen Moore in the regular season matchup? Tech is second in points per play allowed. They're top 15 in points per play. BYU is 17th in points per play allowed, and I think 33rd in overall points per play. Texas Tech is the favorite here. They are the better team, but do they have the better quarterback? That's pretty fascinating. Bear Bachmeier is 12th in QBR to Morton's 30th. Both in the 70s. Brycen Moore is a 72 QBR. Bachmeier is a 79.6. Brycen Moore is a 165.9 pass rating, which is 8th. Bachmeier is a 144.1, which is 46th. Bachmeier is involved in the rushing attack in a way that Morton just is not, and Bachmeier can take hits more and is a healthier quarterback. Morton, 20 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Bachmeier, 14 touchdowns to 4. 9.1 yards per attempt for Texas Tech, 8.1 for BYU. And yet, due to the injury situation, Bachmeier actually has slightly more yards. I'd say it's pretty even here. Morton, when healthy, is really good, but he also has the better supporting cast. Bachmeier is also a great quarterback, is a true freshman. They really won that trade where they let Retzlaff go very late, and Bachmeier emerged as actually a better quarterback than Jake Retzlaff, is better for this team, and a key reason why this year they're in the Big 12 title game, and last year they weren't and lost an additional regular season game. It's an amazing story for BYU, and also for Tech, that they retained Morton, trusted in him, and he's done well. Keys to this game are rushing offense, pass protection, rushing defense, big plays allowed and forced, and the talent mismatch. The biggest one here is the talent mismatch, because Texas Tech could just overwhelm BYU with talent again, and that's done. Like, close the book. Texas Tech's the Big 12 champion. We'll see if they can win it all. Big plays defensively is going to be important for BYU to win, and it will be important for them to prevent Texas Tech from generating big plays defensively. Remember, they're a 13.5-point underdog, so we have to talk about them as if it's not likely that they're going to win, because it's not. Like, sometimes Vegas gets these things very wrong. This is not one of those instances. Texas Tech is the much better rushing defense. Pass protection, BYU is better, I would say, at that, but by how much, I do not know. And Texas Tech also has the better rushing offense, and those are the things that BYU hangs their hat on. So when I look at this matchup, I see Texas Tech, I see red, I see guns a-blazing, and I see Texas Tech winning this game pretty decisively. I see them winning. I see them covering. They won by 22 points despite having a very bad performance on offense. And the other thing, too, with BYU, keep in mind with Kalani Sitake, who I actually think is one of BYU's X factors here. I think he is a better coach than Joey McGuire. He is in conversation with Penn State and with BYU and even, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints elders and donors about keeping him. There's a little bit of off-field stuff going on with BYU, while Tech is like laser focused on killing everyone and proving they're legitimate. So I would not be shocked here if Texas Tech puts on an even more dominant performance than they did against BYU in the regular season, both in terms of, film, but definitely in terms of the final score. I think there's a good chance that might happen. So I am going with Texas Tech to win. I'm going with the Red Raiders to cover as well and dominate. I am confident through that performance and a win here that they will receive a bye. And their first game in the college football playoff will be in the quarterfinals. And Texas Tech is one of those teams where I don't think anyone wants to play them because of that defensive line and the non-negotiable and the threat that it is and that it presents. Thank you for watching. It's my mission on College Football with Sam to make you the most informed, knowledgeable, and entertained fan as possible. We aren't perfect, but we hit the nail on the head more often than we hit our thumb with the hammer. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and if you're here, you've probably already watched the whole video. So thank you for doing those things.